my name's Jason. I've had a Kiva Ice Bath for about 14 months now, and have had great success with it. So about 3 years prior to me getting the ice bath, I had open heart surgery, which was a very complicated surgery, and it was about 12 months in and out of hospital, many ambulance trips, and I had, diagnosed with like debilitating pain and had, heaps of, mental challenges and stress and that from the operation. And I always was cold showers, and I always wanted to get into doing cold baths, but was unsure, how I would go with my heart. But I knew that if I got an ice bath, I needed one that went to 0 degrees. So when I looked around and went and had a look, I found that the Kiva Ice Bath was the one that I was after. So purchased it and, spent several months, about 8 ice baths a day at 0 degrees, and the results were just incredible. And even my doctors and cardiologists are so impressed with, the results that I've been able to gain from ice baths. For me, having the debilitating pain and the challenges that most people have from open heart surgery, and especially after being on a heart-lung machine, there's sort of, you could call it on par with, even a bit of depression and things like that. So, what I found is that once I was able to get below 4 degrees, once I got first below 4 degrees, I realised that, that the body was able to release trauma, with certain types of breath work, certain types of practice that you do in the bath of reaching a mental state within the bath. I love what Wim Hof says when he says, you're in control. So when you're in the bath, you be in control. And it teaches your brain to be able to be a lot more resilient and a lot calmer. Then months later, my heart was going into AF, which, is a dissimilar heartbeat. And I had an option of looking at different types of medication. But what we did with the cardiologists, even, being okay with it, is that I would jump in the bath and below, as long as it's below sort of 3 degrees, and I was able to get my heart back into back into sync, and I found that incredible. So for me, the ice bath is an everyday, non-negotiable, purely because of the benefits that I get from it. Yeah. I had there was so many medical or medication options, but they weren't really for me, and I needed something that was going to really help me do that. So, the mixture of things like, hot cold therapy, so, having hot magnesium baths and then into the ice bath, saunas, so, hot, cold that way, red light, all of that stuff. And from the study that I've done is all of that stuff that you're doing is you're working on your mitochondria, which is your cellular health. And, once you are able to work on the mitochondria, you get a lot more energy. And that's what I've been able to do. So basically changing my energy, where I have a lot more energy, where before I had not much energy. Yeah. I looked online, and the other thing that I found with other people was the time to get one. So other people were 3 months to get one. So even when you paid, and the Kiva product was available and it got delivered, and all the service that I've had, the warranty service, everything's been fantastic. Yeah. No. For me, it was something that we always wanted. And then, like I said, my partner Kylie, she had breast cancer and a double mastectomy. So she's had fantastic benefits from the ice bath as well. So every morning we get up, do our breath work and jump in the bath. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to spend some time together as well.
Always start your day off with a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're fantastic. You know, I think all their people are all like-minded people that are after wellness and you know, a better version of their self. So all of them have been fantastic. That's a long list. I guess for me, even prior to my operation, I was a big meditator, and you know, meditation has been an invaluable part of my healing process. But what I've found is that, you know, repeating ice baths every day and challenging yourself, you know, getting down to 0 degrees and things like that, is that it gives you a base resilience that is just incredible. It you know, especially for me, you know, you can, you know, have something come up with your heart or something, or you know, any life's challenges, and it just gives you a completely different baseline of a resilience and a calm that I, you know, that I really value. And I think when you finish, yeah. I mean, they say, you know, what the dopamine hit that you get, you know, is 20x or something. What do they say? You know, say it's similar to a cocaine fix.
Yeah.
But for me, especially if I feel a bit run down during the day, you know, purely because of the medical condition that I deal with. You know, for me to be able to access that is incredible, to just jump in the bath. And, you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
And, you know, the first time jumping in it, like I said to you, because there was nothing out there, if you have a look, on, you know, people that have had open heart surgery or big surgeries or concerned about their heart. And, you know, I have always been okay. And you know, from now talking to doctors and now that, you know, more studies, or, you know, that there's more people using it, I encourage anyone that has had any, you know, of course, check with your doctor, but for me, I've never had an issue where my heart has felt like it's, you know, like it's too much for it. I think pain reduction. Yeah, you know, there's definitely that took me by surprise, because for me, my operation was 12 hours, so having my chest completely open, and then when it reset, all my collarbone and areas around there didn't reset, you know, spot on, and I've, you know, got all sternal wires and that in here. So, you know, the pain and you know, the mental benefits have blown me away. If someone would have told me, you know, the mental benefits that I've got from an ice bath, I wouldn't have believed them. So Kylie has a really full-on job. Yeah, you know, it's a big job and a lot of responsibility and stress. And for herself, as I said, you know, she had breast cancer, and you know, that with the challenges of that. But she, you know, she's just as eager as I am. So all the benefits I've said, you know, if you know, she would say the same. She loves it. It's a non-negotiable for her once you know, start that practice. Oh, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And I say that because when I first started looking, I did start looking at things like chest freezers and, you know, a cheaper option and things like that. But, you know, if you spend that little bit more money, and for me, I got the 1.5 horsepower because I knew that I wanted to go to 0 degrees. No, you know, I know, you know, it's a life-changing investment. Yeah, and I don't think you'd ever have trouble selling one second-hand, because sometimes I see them come up and they're only there for a week and they're gone.
Yeah. Straight away.
I wouldn't, because I'd buy another one.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I mean that because it's such an integral part of my wellness day. You know, it's it's what it's done for me is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do it. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is all my questions. Thank you so much. You've done such an awesome job. You just